What's up, guys? Welcome to the unabridged version of episode 6. Like I said, it was very long, and for those who wanted snippets, you got it. But for those who want the meat, steak, and potatoes, this is it. Once again, you can follow us on IG, BT_big_O. We're getting ready to move some things, but yes, let's just hop into the video. And I'll see you guys on the other side. It's you and Tell the people who you are.
I'm Travis Nelson, and since we're talking about identities, I'm a manager of a career center at a local state college. I'm an uncle, a brother, a son. I'm a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I wear a lot of different masks.
All right. So we are in this conversation about how do you view yourself. How important is it to view yourself?
Well, it's incredibly important from the student experience, especially when you start considering that underrepresented minorities in particular are coming from oppressed identities. Mm-hmm. It's hard for students who might have a negative view of themselves of not belonging within like an academic space. That contributes greatly to their dropout rate inside of education. You know, they need to be able to feel like they belong, that they're able to achieve, that they can perform at the same level of everybody else.
Right. And, you know, just to kind of put into context about how I met him, I reached out to him from my junior college, Contra Costa College, as you guys have known. I've said that once before. And it was UC Berkeley or Cal State East Bay. And UC Berkeley backed out. And I just said, hey, can you do the full presentation? And he was like, sure, no problem. And he walked in and we just connected, and he was just, I viewed him as a very open person, easy to talk to. And since I was going there, we had this conversation of, oh, no, I'm going to East Bay. I'll see you there. Mm-hmm. And just meeting with him, just his viewpoint on seeing how many students come through makes him a great candidate. Because what is your background in? What did you study in school?
Yeah, so my undergraduate degree is in sociology, so
Mm-hmm.
Bachelor of Art in Sociology from UC San Diego.
Okay.
And that was part of our topic is once UC Berkeley backed out, we had the conversation about how my degree, coming from public Ivies, really didn't do much for me because I graduated in 2008 at the beginning of the major hit of the economic recession. Mm-hmm. And at that time, experience counted for more than a fresh college graduate.
Yes.
You know, laid off multiple times. So my original intention was to get into education. I had ended up getting a job at UC San Diego, and within just a few months I was laid off. I worked at a Fortune 500 for pretty much a year and a half and laid off from that. Worked at an intellectual property law firm for 2 years, laid off. It was a hard experience, you know, but eventually I got back to here, which led to me being in front of you at Contra Costa.
Right. So we have talked about him having different jobs. Did your identity change, or how you viewed yourself, did that change among that?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. When you talk about identity development, what's really interesting about it, I should mention too that I'm currently a student again. I'm studying organizational leadership at University of San Francisco, and University of San Francisco, what's great is it really has a solid grounding in social justice, right? So identity is a big component of that. And if you look at identity development itself, it's something that changes across your lifespan. Mm-hmm. Like lots of times you just think like, well, you know, I'm Travis. I'm just who I am. And
right.
Like I said earlier, you know, we wear a lot of different masks because we're a lot of different things to different people, mm-hmm. and we just assume whatever mask is right for that situation. So if you think about your development as you mature and get older, lots of the beginning is all around these external factors, right? It's what your parents want you to be. It's what your family wants you to be. It's what they want you to believe, right?
Right.
What you know comes from your family, and over time that changes. from an external to wait a second, like, but I know that this is true. Like, I don't want to be that, you know, and you have this conflict with those external sources until finally you sort of internalize this identity. But even then, it changes from circumstance to circumstance. Is you're not one thing to every single person.
Absolutely right. I'm one thing to a certain group of friends and how I talk to them. I guess those are the masks that I switch out, and I become Octavius the partier with these group of friends, and then I become Octavius the leader when I'm in different settings, and then I'm a different leader in different settings, whether it may be in nonprofits or for-profits. And I feel like at some place that I'm always myself at the core, but the mask, like you said, I am different. And I'm wondering though, because we had this conversation about you in a class. What class was this? Were you the only Caucasian male?
Oh yes, yeah. Race and diversity, yes.
Race and diversity class, and you're the only Caucasian male, and I can imagine people's viewpoints at you being, you know, all up and down, who probably don't know you.
Yeah, well, you know what I think is great about that space is just the fact that I've decided to attend a program that's very heavy in social justice. Means that I am a proponent of that, right?
Right.
Like that is something that is very important to me in making sure that organizations are more equitable in terms of how they hire, how they treat employees, how they handle training, promotions, everything, right? But it's very interesting to, you know, it's the first time where I've had to confront this identity as being both like oppressor, right, as being white male and having benefited from a system of white supremacy,
Right.
while also simultaneously trying to be a champion of social justice.
Right.
You know, it's a conflicting identity.
Yes, that conflict. So how can, if someone says, Travis, how can I view myself in a better light that will affect me in a more positive way? Can you do that? Can I get rid of this mask that I have? Or is it just something that I'm stuck with?
So the great thing about these identities, and this is part of what we do in Jumpstart Weekend, right? You went through a portion of this, is we all have this voice inside of our head, particularly those with oppressed identities, right? They have this voice inside their head that's constantly saying, you're not good enough. You don't deserve to be here. And we all have that to some extent, right?
Right.
And when we get up in the mirror, every single morning, we say, we're not attractive enough, you know, whatever the case is. We're not good enough at something. We're always our own worst judges.
All right, so that mirror thing, I'm the complete opposite. I have to remove mirrors out of my room because I will be late. I'm like, hello, sexy. And maybe that's not healthy.
The narcissist factor.
Yes, yes, I do not have any mirrors in my room for that reason. I promise you, my mom has caught me several times growing up just putting on different shirts. Like, yo, hey, how you doing? Oh, hey there.
see, and that's the confidence factor that everybody can manufacture within their own personality, right?
Right.
It's understanding that the voice inside of your head is you being your own worst critic, and it not having control, right?
Yes.
Over who you really are, because oftentimes you might think something bad about yourself, but you have a conversation with a friend, right? And they totally see you in a different light. I do that all the time with students who are trying to get jobs. You know, lots of times I'll end up having a conversation with a student who will say, well, you know, I have no skills. Like, why would this company want me? Why should I apply for this job? I'm not good in anything. If you sit that person down with their best friend and you ask their best friend to say, you know, what are some of the traits of this person? Oftentimes, the best things come out about that person, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden they realize, oh my God, like how I view myself is very different from how other people view me, right? And that's part of that struggle of Jumpstart Weekend is, you know, being at Cal State East Bay, we have so many first-generation students who every single morning that they come up that hill, they are trying to rise out of whatever situation they find themselves in. And lots of times they're coming in with the mindset of I'm not good enough. I don't know if I can succeed in academics. they don't have much guidance from family, right?
Right.
In saying, I'm not sure of my path through this program, but I can't ask my parents, and maybe they're not comfortable having conversation with other people.
Absolutely. I mean, I was one of those, and I promise you guys, I'll tell you guys more about the story about me being homeless, and it actually has to do with linking with Jumpstart here at the Cal State East Bay. Go Pioneers. I was homeless prior to even that, and I had to make a decision whether I wanted to better myself and pull myself out of somewhere, because where I was being homeless, I viewed myself a certain way, and I did cut off from the world. I've dealt with homeless people, and that's kind of one of the first things that goes, how I view myself. I can't really talk because then people are going to ask me about what's going on, and if I tell them I'm homeless, then I have to keep reliving this. And now I'm a first generation college student in my family, and I have to make this truck up this hill, and I'm trying to figure out a way, but I'm, lack of a better word, lost. I really don't know where I'm going. I know I got a goal. And for so many people, I think when you look at yourself or how you view yourself, it can be very damaging, because you will only see, like you said, you're the worst critic. You'll only see the worst.
Yeah.
And if you don't have people around you that is building you up for something, then you're always constantly looking at the negative. And I think, we talk negative, we do negative. If we believe positive and speak positive, we can be positive. Because being homeless was not fun, but I said, there's a way out. I'm going to find it. Because I don't like sleeping in my car. I like a warm bed.
But no mirrors.
Yeah. Right. And I made that decision, and I think it's just getting this conversation out to the people. Someone who sees college students, first generation, people who feel like they can do it, and people who feel like they can't, and all of a sudden they come back here crying, hey, I got the job, or hey, I'm graduating. Travis, you've been so great. Oh my God, thank you so much. And I just think having these conversations with people who are in the educational field on how you view yourself, because you see a lot of people in their ups and their downs, in their sweats, and their flip-flops, when they dress up for business, and just when you switch. And I love what you said about the mask. Like, when you do take it off, because when I'm an uncle, there's certain things that I will not say, there's certain things that I will not do around my nieces, period. But around my friends, whole different ballgame. Around my mom, I don't even have the same voice tone with my mom that I have with some of my friends, or even my dad. My mom and dad, I talk to them very differently. And when they're in the same room, I kind of wear a half mask of son to father, son to mother, and we have this conversation, and whoever's talking to me the most, I face towards them. But I definitely think that was very powerful in just switching, because we do that all the time.
Yeah, that's what Jumpstart is all about, right? It's like Tom Bagwell, he says in Jumpstart that you are the one who's writing your script.
Right.
Right? That you're in essence, you're in control of the movie that's playing. If you don't like the movie that's playing, change it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's part of what we do is have students share a story with another student about overcoming struggle, right? Because it's about turning this deeply ingrained, often painful experience from a position of pain and oppression to a position of power, of overcoming the struggles and the challenges that they face, right? And when they realize that, wow, I really do have the choice of how I interpret this experience, that's where you see the real person, the potential that's inside of everybody, emerge, right? Because then it's you know what, I'm going to spend more time, being thankful for the experiences that I've had. I'm going to be thankful for the people that are in my life. I'm going to become more involved, for someone like you had that in the very beginning, that drive to be involved. But, the story that you're sharing about your homeless situation, you could have thought about that in a very different way and potentially dropped out of school because of your circumstances.
Right.
But you saw that goal, you chose to view it in a way that drove you, that motivated you to that end result, right? Which is you being here today.
Yeah. Alright guys, and that wraps it up for the unabridged version of episode 6. Thank you so much, Travis. Check him out on LinkedIn. And you can follow us again on Instagram at BT_big_O. Also, the artist that was playing is Prophet, and the song is called Blood Moon. Check him out. We're going on tour. Yes, I said we are. So check us out. You know how we wrap it up. If you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go somewhere far, you go together. I'll see you on the other side.
I am a lyrical catalyst, abracadabra with the work, interstellar, street dweller. If it's beef, I'm after your dogs like Cruella. Who move better than the hip hop mecca? If these rappers are sesame